We had a long weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, it was interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, we did
Wasn't
have a long weekend.
wasn't bad.
No.
So we had part of our schedule was to do 5 hours and 20 minutes of burpees. What, 10 days? 10 days before the 12-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
So that was supposed to be Sunday. We pushed it. Kind of had a little fun weekend.
A little fun weekend. I was feeling a little sick like Sunday. Or no, I felt a little sick Monday. And then we pushed it to the next day.
Yeah, I said let's push it to Monday because I wasn't feeling good.
Yeah, no.
Saturday. So I was like, let's push it to Monday. And then you weren't feeling good Sunday. And then we were like, all right, let's push it to Tuesday.
Yeah, I had food poisoning or something, just some stomach aches, and I could barely like stand up. But then I think that was the right call for sure.
No big deal.
Yeah,
2 days, still got it done.
Yeah.
You felt pretty good during it. Well, how do you go into it?
So basically the whole time I've never been leading up to these burpees. I mean, I've always been winded at about like an hour and a half. And like, I don't think we've actually ever gone into the process of how you're supposed to be doing the burpees. So it's a chest to ground burpees. And specifically, you're supposed to squat, put your hands on the ground, kick your legs back, basically do a push-up to the point where your chest is touching the floor, spread your arms out, head's on the floor as well, and then usually we'll have like a towel or something on the mat, basically, and then you reverse that. So you bring your hands back up, bring your legs back up, or push back up, legs back in, swing your legs back in, then squat upwards, and then jump in the air. And you don't have to leap too much in there and waste too much energy because we're going to be doing this for 12 hours. So I would think and you mentioned this when we first started doing it before, it was just kind of like a little hop just to get your feet off the ground.
Yeah. So we're doing like a modified version of the burpee to fit what we would have to do if we were trying to beat the world record. Because the world record, they say technically, because there's 2 world records, you can do just like a regular burpee. No, what was it? What was the other one?
And then it was like
you didn't have to like
chest to ground.
You went to like the top plank position and then back up. So this one, you go all the way to the ground, but to make sure that you go all the way to the ground, like to confirm that you're all the way to the ground, you have to, that's why you have to spread your arms out. So like if someone was watching you, like if they had like the Guinness people come and watch us, they would know our chest is hitting the ground when we spread our arms out.
Okay.
So that's the reason for that. And then, yeah, just...
How did you find this out? What'd you look up?
Just a video, and then he was talking about it in the podcast.
What was he saying in the podcast? I know you were saying a little bit in that podcast with the guy, like he was saying that the guy who currently holds the world record for the 12 hours, or 12 hours with the burpees, he was saying like he pushed like that first week of training he did like over 3,000 or something like that. You said? Yeah,
he did over. Yeah, when he first decided he was going to do it, when he first signed up, the first week he did, I think like, I have it on my phone somewhere, I think over like 3,000 burpees that first week.
Okay.
And he felt like absolute shit. And then he got a trainer, I think, at the end of the week, and he was like, yeah, you can't do that. Like, you'll burn yourself out. Yeah, so I think in the podcast he was saying he would still do like high volume reps, but only like 2 days a week or 1 day a week on like Saturday or Sunday. And then during the week he would work on like more conditioning stuff, like strength and stuff like that.
Kind of like the same idea that we've adopted with
I think
a lot of ultra marathon runners use.
I think every plan for any endurance thing, it's got to be similar to these back-to-back long days.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way to build up, just going back into it sore.
So your body's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to have to deal with this anyway while I'm sore, so I might as well. And it kind of gets used to that whole being in pain mindset, and you're kind of used to it at that point.
But I was struggling a little bit, I think. When I was like, Joanna, this hour was hard.
I think it was like hour 3.
3.
Yeah, 3 through 4. Yeah.
I think I missed up to like maybe like 6 rounds.
That's 66. What was it?
And then on hour number 4, I went to 6 burpees per minute.
You still did over like 2,200 burpees.
Yeah.
That's still a lot. That's still like a lot more than most people can even do. And then when we first started this, it was like we were only able to do an hour.
Dude, you were telling me before when we were at the park the day before, you were making it seem like you weren't going to be ready for this.
I was freaking out.
But dude, you came up strong.
Okay, well,
like I was like, dude, you're talking a little.
I was freaking out because I was like, because like an hour and 40, like 2 days before, or like the 3 days before, it was like tough for me, and I was like, damn, like how am I gonna do this for 5 hours and 20 minutes? And then I was like looking up like breathing techniques because I noticed like I wasn't like getting tired, I wasn't getting like sore in places and things weren't really hurting. But I was getting like winded, like if you were to run like sprints, And I'm like, why am I getting so winded? And recently, I've been really getting into like the Wim Hof guy, like his breathing techniques and how to and his whole basis is like how to boost your immune system just by like using the cold as a stressor and using certain breathing techniques. And through the whole thing, I was just breathing in to my maximum capacity and then breathing out to my maximum capacity. And I would empty and completely fill my lungs the whole time, or the 90% of the time.
Let me ask you this, because I've heard 2 different ways of how to breathe. Mm-hmm. Some people say to breathe through your stomach, and expand your stomach, mm-hmm. and some people say to breathe through your chest. Is there like a right? Does Wim Hof talk about that at all?
He talked about. I remember him talking about not like the difference between like doing like in through your nose and out through your mouth. Or, in through your mouth, or at mouth to mouth, or in through your nose. And he says it doesn't matter. As long as he was a preference to doing it just through the nose. But at a certain point, like you just have to breathe, and it doesn't really matter as long as you're getting that breath in.
That surfer guy, Laird Hamilton.
Yeah, I was watching.
He does this. He says, I don't know. I think he was saying, I don't know if it's true, but we back when when our ancestors way, they all breathe through their nose. They were all nose breathers, and then somehow we evolved to
we adopted it.
Somehow start breathing through our mouths.
I don't know why that is, but it seems a little strange.
That guy said that. He said if you train just breathing through your nose, mm-hmm. and then once you need that extra gasp of air, it's like you hit a 5th gear.
It's okay, so when you start using your mouth.
Yeah, and then once you start breathing through your mouth, you catch your breath a little bit, and then you got that back.
Okay, because you're only getting a required amount of, or a certain amount of oxygen going
mm-hmm.
through your nose. So when you decide that you're going to use your mouth, it's just you're able to get more of that oxygen. Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess it's the same thing with the masks. Why people use those, mm-hmm. it's like that resisting the certain amount of oxygen, so your body gets used to dealing with lower amount of oxygen. I guess
was it you telling me about those mouthpieces you could wear?
Yeah, I forget. Marco sent it to me, and I sent it to you. They're for I guess for endurance athletes too, but they're supposed to mimic high altitude areas where there's less oxygen. Yeah, we have our IT guy right here. Anyway, it was this resistant, it's basically a trainer where it's it looks kind of like a mouth guard that you would wear for mm-hmm. football, but it comes out maybe an inch past your mouth. I forget what it's called, and then it has these numbers on it for the amount of resistance, level 1, level 2, level 3.
The higher the level, the more restriction.
Yeah, the more restricted amount of oxygen that you're gonna be able to breathe in. But the more, I think a lot of swimmers use it. A lot of runners use any aerobic exercises, mm-hmm. or high what would it be? High intensity exercises that get your heart rate going that you're gonna need to.
But those are different from the masks. I know the masks help you for when you're in elevation, high elevation areas, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have to do a little bit more I know a buddy that used to have them, but I always looked at them and I was kind of why the fuck are you wearing a mask in the gym, man? I hated that. I don't know. I was a little judgy on that, but I if I see somebody walking around with a mask in the gym, I'm like, what do you think, you're Bane? What's going on here?
Weird.
Yeah. But anyway, everybody's got their own thing.
So we got through the burpees. So we did. you did, I tried to do. 8 burpees at every minute. We did for the first hour, then at the top of every hour,
10-minute break.
10-minute break. Yeah. And that seemed good enough to
and if you rest. I mean when I did the math on like, especially that we said like 8 minutes per burpees, I think actually that fits perfectly with the 10-minute rest, cuz like at 10 hours it ended up beating the record.
Yeah.
And then like you have an extra hour and 20 minutes. So if you do that 10 minutes every hour, that's going to be 120 minutes. Yeah. So you're going to have a perfect 10-minute rest for every hour. I mean, that ends up working out pretty good, honestly. Yeah. And I think this plan, I mean, if we had a little bit more time, I definitely think we'd be like overly prepared. But considering the fact that we're jumping into it a little soon.
The guy who beat the record trained 4 months for this.
We gave ourselves like a little over a month and a half.
I'm not saying it's not doable.
No, it's definitely, yeah. We definitely.
It's going to be a reach, you know. It's.
Yeah.
But the thing is we're going into this thinking. When I first thought of this, I went into it thinking, "Hey, let's beat this world record." But now that I'm thinking, I'm like, "Hey, we didn't go into these ultra marathons trying to come into first place, trying to beat the record. We went in it as like a personal accomplishment, and I think we kind of." Our egos kind of, or my ego kind of
got a little bit away from us.
Yeah.
But still, I think that's like a good way to challenge yourself. Like that's a good milestone to look at.
It is. But like I feel like we shouldn't reach to, especially with the training time that we had, we shouldn't expect to
break.
I don't know how to say it, but in a way.
It took Goggins 3 times to beat the pull-up record. So, I mean, like, don't expect to do it on your first try and don't, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But the whole thing is that, like, we would eventually, I think if we pursued this long enough, we would be able to do it. And maybe, who knows, maybe like this is our first round and we take a couple times off and then we're like, oh, you know what, I want to go back to doing burpees or whatever. But I think either way, this is going to kind of like help our endurance. It's a nice challenge to do. People can join in and watch if they want. It's good talking material for the podcast. So it was a good idea. And I like it.
We also thought, I was thinking we were going to do this challenge outside, but
it seems
different. Dude, if we had like a big like warehouse or something, that'd be perfect. But I think we're just gonna have to do it in my Florida room.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or maybe we can move some of the furniture around in the dining room.
Yeah, that's fine too. I mean, I'm not opposed to doing it outside still, but it definitely would make it a lot harder.
A lot harder, especially with the heat recently.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we can get some it seems a little early, but I don't know. Like one of those stand-up fans that kind of like rotates.
Yeah.
If we wanted to do it outside, like 2 of those. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. I mean, worst case scenario, you do it inside for 12 hours. Not a big deal.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. What else?
If you want to go into like kind of talk about maybe like your feelings during like doing the what kind of started like hurting a little bit more.
Okay, so the first like 20-30 minutes, I'm just trying to get used to it. That I think the first 20-30 minutes is when I'm like a little winded. But after like I'm in like an hour in and I take that first break, I'm not really winded anymore. Or just it's more like a muscle fatigue and like a mental fatigue for me.
Yeah.
Definitely those elbow joints. You know what I might do? I might do a lot of tricep work leading up to it and push up work. Because just from going down into the ground, when I'm like lowering myself down from the top push-up position to the bottom,
that's the worst
part. Where it hurts. It doesn't hurt when I push up. It hurts coming down.
Okay.
But right in the upper, like lower tricep, upper elbow area, just painful. Like last night I was listening and like I can hear it like cracking.
Oh shoot. Yeah.
So, I mean.
Well, I mean, plus side is that, we'll probably go into this a little bit later, but I mean, the plus side is you don't have to do any more Murphs. So, I mean, like. Yeah,
because doing 200 push-ups a day and then burpees, you know, you're doing a crazy amount of pushing off the ground. You're going
to give yourself a little bit of time to rest, definitely. And your body's going to be able to recover a little bit faster now, I think.
I definitely want to go for some runs.
Yeah, I miss it. Yeah.
missing those runs.
I went for like that 3 mile like Friday, and I was pretty happy. I was like, oh, it's just a freeing experience, I think, because you're not being restricted by indoors and you're not staying in one place. And I think that was the big thing for it. It made me appreciate running more.
Oh my God, so much more.
Yeah, definitely. Some of my bigger obstacles that I had to hurdle over the other day was, especially getting up in the morning at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I was like not about it at all, knowing that I was going to come here and do 5 hours and 20 minutes worth of burpees. But, saner heads prevailed, or insaner heads prevailed. And, we got over here and like, again, like the first hour wasn't I never get like winded too bad in the first hour. And everything was kind of like going well for the first hour. But after like 2 hours, I think that's when I started like really like breathing heavy and stuff like that. And then that's when I really started, or that's when I usually start breathing heavy. And that's when I started noticing that like the deep breathing was really playing a part. And also, weirdly enough, like, like sometimes you daunt over like you're looking at the clock, the timer, and you're like just looking at that like second by second go by, and then like you have that 30 seconds or whatever in between to rest, and you're like, oh, this is too short.
Yeah.
Like I was just like not worried about that at all, because it kind of got me into like a very meditative state. And my head was I got like a little bit of a head buzz, and
the autopilot light came on.
Yeah. I think it set something off where it was kind of like one of those things where, especially when you're running, like time goes by a little bit faster. I feel that a lot
when I'm running and focusing on my breathing.
Yeah. That's what that did too. It did not feel like a 3 hour one that I probably did before felt a hell of a lot longer than the 5 hours and 20. For whatever reason, whether it was me just kind of zoning in, or I had a good day, or whatever. But definitely some good, like, I think the breathing probably definitely helped out my case. I was looking up like different breathing exercises, and I know that like that Laird Hamilton guy, he was talking about like how they would do like aerobic exercises, and like they would get you where your heart rate was at a certain BPMs, and then you would immediately jump in. Like you would do the bike, like like really, really hard, like an elliptical bike or something like that, and like a stationary bike, and they would get your heart rate up to like 180 or something like that, and then you would immediately go to the pool and like try to hold your breath for as long as you can. And apparently that like strengthens how much like air you're able to hold, and like it was really interesting.
Hearing about that.
And he was talking about like 30 for 30s. Where you would not the ESPN documentary, but like the where you would breathe in 30 seconds, and you do like really slow inhale and then a really slow exhale for 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
It's hard. Yeah, I didn't realize how, like, I try to do it, and it's like
as weird. Like when you're just sitting down.
Yeah, if you want to like take time, like you would do like to do yoga, like you would take time to do like a breathing exercises, like that kind of strengthens up. And it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like I've done it once, and it's kind of like, it's difficult.
You could probably do that when you're stretching.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, let's say like you're just holding a stretch.
That's what I'm kind of like acknowledging the fact, because when you do like a yoga class, they're always telling you to like focus on your breath. Don't focus. I mean, do the pose, try to get it, but they're always saying like focus on your breath, focus on your breath. And I'm like, oh, well, that's probably why they're trying to get you in that meditative state, so it's kind of like flows more naturally and stuff like that.
Have the yoga studios open back up?
I don't know. I'll have to check. Probably. I would assume like hot yoga is probably open, like other like smaller places. Yeah, it's not too bad. I would do one. Yeah. But and then they do like I did fast breaths one time, and then after like a big run, like I think like during like beginning of March, or not beginning of March, beginning of April, when I was doing like some runs, I would come back home and I would try that. I would jump in the pool and like try to hold my breath for as long as I could. But I feel like that's something you have to keep up like a little bit more consistently for it to actually work.
You know who used to be really into that breathing stuff too? I think all the Gracies. They do. I forgot. I remember seeing a video of one of them doing
Rickson.
like some. Yeah, when you see like he's like sitting like crisscross.
Yeah.
And he's like.
Did you ever hear about I guess it was the Edward Norton podcast, but he like got him to do like a part in the Hulk movie, where if you go back and watch the Hulk with Edward Norton, it's Rickson Gracie teaching him how, because he was in Brazil, And like in the movie, like he was hiding out, like Bruce Banner was hiding out in Brazil. So he would hide, like, he went to, like, to calm his, like, make sure he didn't calm his emotions and kind of gain more control. He was, like, practicing deep breathing exercises with, like, Ricks and Gracie in the movie.
He's in the movie?
Yeah, Ricks and Gracie's in the movie. Yeah, it's funny as hell.
That's funny.
But they're doing that, that stomach thing. But yeah, that he's very, and then when I was up in Orlando, like in group me chat, the Lombario, Ricardo Lombario would put out, and some of the other guys would put out like breathing exercises that you could do. As obviously when you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're like you're like gassed out, like especially if you're not like controlling your breath. But yeah, it's a big pointer, big help, I think, in everyday life. And he also, like, Wim Hof talks about like controlling anxiety and like depression like that too.
Through breathing?
Yeah, like just by like, because apparently his wife, when he was like in his late 20s or early 30s, his wife committed, like that was his whole like launch into this, was kind of like dealing with anxiety and depression through like deep breathing and stressors. And he has tons of like evidence that shows that like this does work, but he basically, his wife had committed suicide because she had like suffered from severe depression, and then he like launched himself into this like finding ways that like through like, I guess you would say, holistic approaches to kind of like figuring out like how to do it, how to fix like mental illness in general, or depression. Yeah, it's a good technique, and I think that I would like to really adopt something like that into like a normal training schedule. But but also, Murphs are done for you. I got one more day.
It's about time. No, I'm really happy. I think the best thing I got out of it was just getting better at the pull-ups.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 3 days off. I'm gonna hook up my my Iron Gym thing.
Oh, you're gonna
pull-up bar.
Yeah.
And then continue doing those pull-ups. I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
Because I started out, when we started the first day, I remember the first day, the most I could crank out was like 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, I was like only able to do like 2. And then, so day 1, I was able to do 4. And then from day 2 to like day 10, I was only able to do like 1 or 2 at a time.
Oh, while you're going
While I was like sore.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think maybe it was around halfway through, maybe around day 13, 14, 15, something like that, when I went back up to 4. And then eventually I went to 6. And then this last week I was doing 10 at a time.
Oh, damn. Okay, yeah. That's a big increase.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So that was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I also think now if I can start maybe doing it with like some weight, like get like a backpack on or something, throw some bucks in it. That'll help you out.
I've never done one of those. Like, you ever see like at the gym, or like, I don't know, maybe like in high school, and like sometimes in the gym, like I would see like kids in the football team or something like that. They put on like the belt. The belt, yeah, that helps your back.
The chain.
Yeah, and then you put the chain.
Yeah.
Never done that.
I've done it.
Have you done? Is it hard?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I mean, you put as much weight. What I would do, what I use it mostly for is the
dips.
Yeah, dips. Dips.
Oh man, that's tough. I feel like that would be like a hell of a time. I feel like I could probably only get up like maybe like 2 or 3 pull-ups like that. But no, that seems like a rough time. But I think I definitely, my endurance probably went up with these Murphs, like especially on days that like I really tried to push it. I was able to get my best personal best on my mile. I got like a 5:28. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm sure you can do it faster too if you did like just like a straight like
path. Yeah.
Straight path, because like I don't know about you, but for me, those turns I get a little sketched out because of my knee.
Yeah.
I get a little.
You lean on that side too much.
I slow down a little bit on the corners.
Yeah, coming around.
Yeah.
No, I could see that. Yeah. And I mean, like I didn't have problems with my knee, but I definitely felt like maybe like a little bit more weight was put on that knee during the run or whatever. And I could definitely tell that those turns were kind of, and maybe it would help like to like kind of just turn around, but a straight path would definitely probably be the best thing ever to see how well of a mile you can do.
Or a track, something bigger like that.
Nick Barr, he did like a 4:53 mile. But it was. Did you watch the video?
Yeah,
he had like that
cool.
pacer, and like his buddy apparently like does 4-minute miles on the regular. So like the guy that was running with him, I think he was. I don't know if he was an Olympic athlete, but he was like a professional runner.
Dude, that guy's a beast, man. He does like he does like 7 miles every morning at like a 7-minute pace. Then he'll work out like in the afternoon and then go for another run at night.
He set himself up, honestly, with his supplement company, and then coming out of like, you know, the military when he was younger. And he had like I don't even think his plan really was like going into the military and stuff like that, but he joined ROTC in college, like his second year or something like that. And then I think he has a nutrition degree or something like that.
I don't know.
Something, he went to college for something like that.
I'm pretty sure he said he started this in college, like his company.
Oh, really?
I think he was saying something about that.
Oh, shit. Yeah. He seems like a really like dedicated, like really knowledgeable
cool.
guy.
I like his like Instagram stories and stuff like
that. Murphs for me, they were fun. I got one more today, and then I'm finished up. I think I would just like to. I like this also that we did this, because now that we're like, especially like now that we like eventually like the fact that we got into yoga and stuff like that. I like having new tools in my workout arsenal. You know, like things like like having like a new thing that like if I don't feel like doing something one day, I can always have something else to do. You know what I mean?
There's something important about being able to control your body.
Yeah.
Like just going from 2 pull-ups to be able to do 10 at a time, just to be able to control your own body weight. That's very important.
Yeah, definitely.
It's way different than lifting weights.
Calisthenics is a really good way to keep you like endurance or your endurance up to par, I guess. Yeah. And because you're just dealing with your own weight, so you're not lugging around extra weight, so you just, and that would be your every day.
Yeah.
So like if you push yourself with like body weight calisthenics, then maybe like walking around is going to be a hell of a lot easier for you.
Exactly.
Walking upstairs or stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
And also just pushing yourself and trying to like challenge yourself, and you know, trying to break a certain time or something like that. I think my best time one day was like 32 minutes, and I think I was trying to get it like under 30, but I think we were gonna try to wait like a couple days, like for you guys especially, like, you know, like 7 days.
Yeah, we're gonna wait 10 days and then try to do like a PR.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. Yeah, just to kind of see where we're at from like beginning to end. Yeah.
That was cool. Definitely happy we did that.
Yeah, it was worth it. I mean, it was a pain in the ass during, but like we got finished.
I think maybe like 70% of the days it rained too.
Oh my God, yeah. Like this was probably one of the worst months, but I mean, the fact that we kept to it was really good. Yeah. I like it.
I was gonna say something else, but can't think of it.
Herman, we'll probably have him on again with a little better audio this time, and we'll discuss about we screwed up that time, but we'll have him on again just to discuss about like, you know, what the Murphs and like what he got out of it and where he's at now. And I wanted to eventually like down the line get like a vest and try to do it again. Yeah,
dude, just having a vest in general,
just for running or something like that.
For running, pull-ups, body weight, you can do so much. It's just like an extra weight to do calisthenics.
Yeah. It seems like a good way to do it. Yeah. But there was this one guy who was like showed up while I was doing the Murph one day. I don't know if you guys saw him or not, but he had a vest on. He was doing the Murph as well. And I was asking him, and he was like he had just got he didn't even do it he didn't even do it without the vest. He just like got the vest and like started doing Murphs. Yeah. I thought that was pretty ballsy of him, but yeah.
Maybe he saw us out there doing it and he wanted
to
come.
He said he saw like one of us out there doing it, and he was like, "Were you guys the other day?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, okay." And he seemed like a nice guy. Yeah, he said that like he went from doing like he tried to do it one day without his vest, and he went from a 7.5 or 8-minute mile to like a 10-minute mile.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like the vest definitely held him. Yeah, put a little bit more challenge into the whole Murph. Yeah, it's a good time. Anyhow, we went over our 520 burpees
challenge.
We went over the Murph's done. We're coming up on a week, so we pushed the date back by one day, just because we got
21st.
we got something going on with Herman. We're gonna do something with him. But yeah, it looks pretty good. We're following on track and schedule. Hopefully, we're going to have some more interesting guests on up to coming soon. And yeah, I think that's it for now.
All right.